This isn't just another interview. It's an invitation to understand the heart of a shepherd. Today, our very special guest is my very own pastor, Reverend Xavier Hailey.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
All right. So our first question is going to talk about the power of prayer and mission. I know how passionate you are about the power of prayer. Mm-hmm. How has that prepared you for your mission as pastor?
Well, when you grow up in the church like I did, they sing all those old songs like "Somebody Prayed for Me," and I distinctly remember singing those songs with, the mothers of the church and just the church at large, and it didn't become manifested for me until, I growing up in the city of Detroit, where at the time it was high crime and you had teenagers or whatever and young adults just getting in all kind of trouble. And so I believe that the prayers of those people really saved me and kept me, hidden, or kept me from getting in all kind of types of activities. I was involved in a lot of things, and so and those things were the ones that kept me occupied and kept me out of trouble. And so I just believe that the prayers of those people, my grandmothers, my aunts, and the mothers of the church, deacons, and all of those, my parents, of course, those are their prayers were the ones that carried me. And so looking back on that, understanding that their prayers were pivotal in my growing up, I just know that prayer is essential. It is pivotal in the life of a Christian. And so, and again, after accepting my calling into the ministry and reading and studying for myself and seeing how Jesus interacted with people, he always prayed for the people. He always had the heart for the people. And so I just believe that prayer changes not only things, but it changes people, changes hearts. And so, and that's just a thing for me. And I believe every believer should have that concept of prayer, that God is our communication with God.
So, Pastor, tell me this: how has it evolved as you now are pastor? How has that thought process evolved?
Well, seeing that we are still in our transitional phase, and I know that the devil is busy. He stays busy. We say God is good, but the devil is busy. Yeah, he's busy. He stay busy, and he ain't letting up on nobody. Mm-hmm. We are in a vulnerable time in our transition. And so I believe that if we ask and talk to God, allow him in, not only in the hearts of the people here, but the hearts of the people that's outside the church, because there's so many distractions, so many things that can permeate the church, that can infiltrate the church, that comes from the outside. And we need God's protection to keep that from coming in here, because we need to be lights of this world. And we can't be lights if we're doing the same things everybody else doing. So we need God to keep us, allow us to be an encouragement to people outside of his kingdom, so that we can draw them in.
All right, let's talk about some lessons from your historically black college and university experience, your HBCU experience. I want you to describe for our listeners and viewers, describe the most important lesson that you learned while attending an HBCU, and maybe tell us a little bit about the HBCU that you attended.
Well, I attended Payne College in Augusta, Georgia. It's a small liberal arts school, and then it's founded by the United Methodist Church. And it's like I said, it was small at the time. It's smaller now. You know, we've been going through some troubles here and there with the school, but it's coming back. But it's a smart HBCU, and we just it's family oriented. And what I've learned is this, from my experience. I've learned that I am somebody. As a black man in this society, I am somebody. I am valuable. My thoughts are valuable. I remember distinctly the former president of the school now, she just retired, and she was a professor while I was there, Dr. Cheryl Evans-Jones.
Would you describe her as like a mentor or someone who was very influential?
She was very influential for me. I remember taking her psychology class my freshman year. This lady didn't know me from anybody else. And after a few weeks of being in psychology class and participating in some of the discussions and everything, she would, as I entered the room, she would greet everybody. And so that's the beauty of an HBCU, by the way, is that your professors take a vested interest in you. You're like their child, almost. They're not going to let anything happen to you. And so she would say to me, she would say hello to everybody coming to class, and she would say, "Hello, Dr. Hailey, Professor Hailey." She would always call me Professor Hailey. Every single class, Professor Hailey, Professor Hailey. And we're talking like 20-something, 30-something years ago now, 32 years ago, when I first entered into Payne College. And she would call me Professor Hailey, and that made a profound impact on me.
Wow.
Profound impact. And I could tell you some other things too, but I don't know we have enough time for that. But anyway, there's a lot of things that I've learned. Again, it's one of those things is that I am somebody, and I do have a voice, and I wish that all our young people would understand that.
How has that shaped your leadership in your pastoral role?
Well, it gave me compassion for people. And not that I didn't have it before, but, just realized that you need compassion for people, need love for people. Because that lady didn't know me. Dr. Jones, she didn't know me. And my other professors didn't know me prior to me coming there. But they took a vested interest in me. They made sure that this little nappy-head boy from Detroit was going to graduate.
That's beautiful.
After all, through all the ups and downs, they wanted to see me graduate. They wanted to see me succeed. And every time I go back, I make sure I see her and other professors and other people that poured in to me. And it's funny too, because the president at the time that I was there, Dr. Shirley A.R. Lewis, she also took the vested interest in me and others, and all of us, really. We were her babies. We Facebook friends. Who can say that? I'm Facebook friends with the president of my college, right? So it's a wonderful thing, and it's, just to show that because they had compassion on me, I can have compassion on other people and take a vested interest in somebody and pour into them, and hopefully that would springboard to something great for them. Yeah.
All right, well, let's talk about it. Career, how your career aligns with the ministry. So can you explain to the people how you would describe your career outside of your calling to the pulpit?
Well, let's back up a little bit. And I started off teaching in middle school. Started teaching at Chandler Park Academy. And I taught there for 10 years.
Wow.
And then I moved on to Detroit Community High School. Taught there for 3 years. And after that, moved on to something. I was laid off for 2 years. And then after my layoff, during my layoff, I wrote a book, which was good.
Amazing.
And then after my layoff, I I went into the juvenile detention facility. So I went to the juvenile detention facility downtown, and now I work at Sobriety House. It's a drug and alcohol addiction residential facility for men. And so how my professional career from teaching to where I am now impact ministry, it goes back to my HBC roots, my Payne College roots, dealing with people. So what I didn't say was I have a bachelor's degree in sociology. And for those that don't know what sociology is, it's the study of a group of people. Studying groups of people, you understand how they operate, how they move, whether the group of people are women, men, young adults, older people, it doesn't matter. We all have demographics of us, and some of us are part of more than one demographic of people. So, and with that, I understand that, you know, the demographics of people that I've been in contact with youth, whether it's in school, that's one demographic. And then you have the juveniles, that's another demographic. And now we're dealing with men who are addicted to drugs and alcohol. And so that thing where you see these people at their most vulnerable state, their most, I've seen men walk in the facility, horrible, not just physically looking horrible, but their spirit is horrible. Their emotions are horrible. Their mental state is horrible. And to see how, and you know, after so long they've been there, people pouring into them, people speaking words of encouragement to them, just being nice to these men, it did something to them. So the impact from my professional career to what I do in ministry, they almost mirror each other because, again, you're dealing with people. Mm-hmm. Ministry is always dealing with people. Ministry is not about me. Mm-hmm. And everything that I've done professionally has never been about me. Mm-hmm. It's always been about somebody else. I had to give up myself. I had to, when I was teaching, I had to give up. I was their father. I was their big brother, their uncle, their confidant. Mm-hmm. I was their parole officer in some cases. I was their disciplinarian. I was all of those things to those kids. Wow. And of course, in the juvenile, you are the disciplinarian, and sometimes you are the big brother. Sometimes, you know, you are the encourager. Hey man, you're gonna be all right. Even though you ain't here right now, that's not where you're gonna be forever. Mm-hmm. And then with those men coming in there, hey man, I see you in here right now, but there's gonna be a day when you're gonna have to leave. And your family needs you. Your family gonna depend on you being better than what you were when you came in here. So I need you to get it right. And when they leave and they relapse and they come back, and I tell them, I said, I'm happy to see you, but I'm not happy to see you. And they say, oh, I understand. Yeah, you have to understand that. Because I'm happy to see you because you coming back to get it right. I'm not happy to see you because you didn't get it right. But that's okay. All right, we gonna get it right this time. We gonna do better this time.
So, Pastor, tell me, how do you negotiate the tension versus the harmony in all of that, all of those different stages that you've helped people along the way in your different careers? Right. that has just marched you right into what you're doing right now. How do you manage the dichotomy between the harmony and the tension and still find yourself doing well from the pulpit for us?
Well, it goes back to your first question about prayer, the power of prayer. You have to pray and ask God to lead you. My prayer is always, Lord, give me wisdom to do what you want me to do. Give me what I need. I can't do all this by myself. I don't even know what to do at times. I don't even know what to preach at times. I don't know what to say to people when they come to me at times. And when I see people's faces, even especially at church, when they're coming to me and I know and I see there's an issue on their face, as they're walking towards me, or as they're talking and asking me a question, I say to myself, Lord, give me the answer to tell them, because I don't know what to say. I don't know what's going on.
Wow.
And so I rely heavily on God on everything, in all aspects of my life. Because if it was left up to me, I would not have gone to an HBCU. I always wanted to go to an HBCU, but over time, HBCU wasn't on my mind because I had other plans. When I got to the HBCU, I was a math major, so I would not have gotten into sociology to understand how to deal with people, groups of people. And if I didn't understand how to deal with groups of people, I wouldn't be in ministry. So all of those things led up to this right here.
That's an amazing transition.
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay. So let's get after it. What brings you joy? Outside of the pulpit, what genuinely brings you joy?
My family. My family. I love being a family man. That's who I am. That's what I do with my wife and my daughters. And just being with not just my wife and daughters, but my siblings, all my siblings, even my wife's siblings, our family. It's not her family, my family, it's our family, right? And I just love being around family. And then, I'm a sports guy too, so I love sports. But the joy part is just seeing how God has blessed me, with the family that I have, and I just give that energy to other people. They may not have the family that we have. They may not have the structure that we came from. My parents wasn't. We didn't have money like that, and but we were always together. And so that's what I hold on to. That's the joy that I have. This is my family.
Guard it. How do you guard it with all that you see of humanity just in your day to day? How do you guard the joy of your family?
Prayer.
Yeah.
Just prayer is just pivotal to my life.
That's beautiful.
So I guard that with that, and just the understanding that I don't have all the answers. I'm not all that. I certainly make mistakes, and I have to be. Here's that word again: compassionate to other people. When they do mess up, because I know I messed up, and I probably will mess up again at some point. Yeah. So we just have to be cognizant of those things, and ask God just to be a hedge. Prayer is, I'm telling y'all, prayer is pivotal. If you ain't praying, then I don't know what you're doing.
Oh, you're not seeing the highest order of things, that's for sure.
Right.
Oh, my goodness. All right. Thank you for being so candid with your answers. Let's talk about what hope you have for the congregation. What do you hope that your congregation will achieve in this coming season? The season that God currently has us in. You talked about a season of transition. What is your hope for the congregation during this season?
It's that we realize that we are God's people, and we are here, and we are certainly conduits of God. People don't. I say this a lot. People may not read the Bible. We are the only Bibles they will ever read.
You said that. You have said
We'll be the only Jesus they'll ever see. If we ain't getting it right, the synagogue ain't getting it right. If we ain't being compassionate to the people. So that's my hope, is that, we have a sense of giving back. Right, and I know we're not a large church. We are a loving church, but we're not a large church in numbers. And I know a lot of times when people think about the different things that goes on that people need, the first thing that comes in our mind is money, right? And we don't have the money like that. Some other churches may have the money, but we don't. But we can do something. We can give. We can love. We can be compassionate. We can pour into other people as we're being poured into. Because God has been good to all of us at Synagogue Baptist Church. And I just want us to know that and to grow in His word, grow in His love. See, we're in the season of transition from one leadership to the next. We're not here to tear down what our pastor emeritus has built. We're not here to just scratch everything and start over as if what he did wasn't even significant. That's ridiculous. We're starting where he left off, and then we're going to move on from there. We're starting where he taught us how to pray. He taught us how to read the scriptures. He taught us how to apply those scriptures to our lives. He taught us how to learn for ourselves, gave us the tools. And we talk a lot, and we say, we're going to teach people how to fish. We ain't going to give you the fish. We're going to teach you how to fish so that when it's time for you to minister to somebody else, when it's time for you to learn or try to figure out things on your own, you'll know where to go. You'll know what to do. Okay, yeah, Pastor Hailey said it. Let's do this. Pastor Gaines said, we ought to do this. I have my books. I have my resources. I even have apps on my phone or on my computer or whatever that I can go to and find it quickly. Yes, we want you to learn for yourself. There's no secret in what we're doing. This gospel is for everybody. And we want everybody to know and understand what to do. So that when you go to work, when you go to school, when you go to wherever it is that you're going, and you encounter those people, there's some people out here that's going to be trying to twist what you're doing, try to twist what you're saying. There's groups of people right now, standing outside of churches. Why are you going in there? They ain't teaching the Bible. They ain't preaching the Bible to you. They ain't doing that. They ain't doing it right. This is what the Bible said right here. And if you don't understand it for yourself, if you don't understand context, if you don't understand what it is, what was going on during that time, and try to and then apply it to what's going on today, you will not get it right, and then you will just fail, right? And interpretation is good, but you can't get the right application if you don't get the right interpretation. So, and that's what we're trying to do. I just hope that synagogue, under my leadership, I'm just here to start off where Pastor Gaines left. That's where I'm starting. That's the bar. If he started right, if he left it right here, this is where I'm starting, and then we're gonna move it past that.
All right. Well, let's talk about some specific first year pastoral goals, right? What's one of the first things that you want to accomplish in your first year as pastor?
A sense of unity.
How would you know that we're on the right track?
Well,
what would you be looking for in order to know that we're on that right track?
You'll see it in the attitude of the people. You'll see it in the attitude of what you're saying. I said this before. Nobody, even if you're here, if you're part of the church, and if you don't agree with the transition or whatever, nobody should be able to come in here and tell you anything about your church that's negative. Yes, we all have issues. We all have some things going on, but nobody should be able to go around to different members in the church and say, oh, such and such is this. Or even Pastor Hailey, he's this. I don't like it when he do this. What do you think about? Should nobody ever be able to come and do that? Because even though, you may have your issues, your gripes with me or with something else or somebody else, it's not for you to come and tear anybody down or try to tear down what God has built here through Pastor Gaines. No, we're not doing that. So your attitude is evidence of you being unified. If you don't want to be a part of synagogue, God bless you. There's plenty of other churches that's here that you can go to and that you can worship with. There are plenty of other churches, and we're okay with that. We'll if you need us to recommend you to go somewhere, we'll give you recommendations. no harm, no love lost at all. We love you, but if you're going to cause issues, we don't need that around here.
How
But
would you set that tone? How do we consistently set that tone to make sure that that message, yes, that's a message of character that needs to be communicated to make sure that this transition is God ordained and everything flows like it should. But how do you measure? How do you navigate that? How do we, and how can we as congregants who are supportive, how can we do our part?
well, your part as congregants, that I don't get to hear everything, so I don't know everything that goes on, and so you guys are closer to what's going on than I am. So it takes the people with the character of being unified to say, hey, it's not about that here. You know that. Maybe synagogue is not the right place for you. Maybe those are the things that the people who are on the same page. You can say that. I don't get everything. I don't get to hear everything. So it's just, and I don't need to hear everything. And I don't want to hear everything. But it takes those people, and that's what I'm saying about being unified. Because the congregants are the eyes and ears of what's going on. The congregants can come back to me and say, well, Pastor, I think that we need a workshop on this. I think we need to talk more about this. I would like to hear us. And somebody came to me and said, I think we should have CPR classes. I think we should do stuff that's going to give us information and prepare us for certain things. It doesn't always have to be about the gospel. Yes, we always going to incorporate the gospel or the word of God in whatever we do.
Absolutely.
But we also, there are some practical things that we need to know. And you may not be getting it in any other places. And you may get it, I may get it, but somebody else may not get it. So again, we need to teach people certain things. We're living in a day and time where there's so many things that we need to know. Some of us just need to learn how to be frugal, right? We don't have to, buy name brand stuff all the time, because everything's going up, all the prices are going up. The prices are going up on everything, and your pay is staying the same. So we need to learn how to live. We need to learn how to do things. We need to pass on information. We're putting together a resource booklet right now for information for people that needs whatever. I'm talking across the board. You need housing, we're gonna send you somewhere so that you can call this number or go to this website. Housing, clothing. I want to do stuff here, for what we do, have a clothing drive, doing stuff for the community, giving away food, giving away shoes. There's so many things that I want to do. But I need the people. I can't do it by myself. I need people to say, hey, what do you need me to do? Now, I put a post on Facebook that said that, the best question you can ask of your church is, what do you need from me? What do you need me to do? And that's the attitude that we all need to have. I played sports ever since I was a teenager. And even before I played organized sports, I always played with the kids in the neighborhood. And the one thing that we've always done, we set aside our personal issues to play with each other. See, I played with kids who parents had more money than my parents. They had a better looking house than we did, but it didn't matter. We just wanted to play. We wanted to be on the same team. We wanted to do the same thing. Every team that I've been on, I played football and baseball. We've all had the same goal in mind. It's to win. I don't care. I don't care who gets the credit. Let's win.
One last question. What is the most valuable post-pandemic lesson that you learned?
I think the most valuable post-pandemic lesson that I've learned was that church changed. The minds of the people have changed towards church. May not necessarily be towards God, but towards church. And I think it has given people a reason not to come. Bible tells us, forsake not the assembly of people. And God tells us, and all throughout Scripture, especially in the Gospels and Acts, they all went and worshiped together. That's an important aspect because, yes, we can worship God on our own, right? And people use the word worship, I don't think they fully understand what worship is, because we all worship God every single day. We worship God in our living, how we interact with people, how we talk to people, and all those things, right? That's our worship. But people have forgotten how to be together. And so when the pandemic hit, we all were forced to stay home, stay quarantined, isolated, whatever you want to call it. And people found other ways to do things. Some of them still use the pandemic as an excuse not to come back. Okay, fine. That's what you want to do. That's okay.
Well, let me interject.
Yes.
So because they feel that way, how has your vision of how to, I don't want to say do church, but I do want to say do church. And how has your vision of doing church changed?
I get you. We, of course, church changed. We've changed, right? We don't do a lot of things in person because we make it convenient for people. Okay, you're not going to come here for Bible study. Okay, let's do it on Zoom. All right, it's still the same thing. We found ways. That's what the other thing the pandemic taught us. We found ways to get the gospel out to people, to teach, to preach. We still did it, but we just did it in other ways. And so those are the things we're not going to let a measly pandemic stop us. A viral disease, something that's going around that might kill us, stop us from preaching and teaching the gospel, right? So we just need, again, it goes back to the attitudes of the people. Okay, you want to come. If you want to stay away, okay, stay away. But don't use that as an excuse. Because it's not an excuse. God's been too good to all of us. We ain't stopped going to no restaurant. We didn't stop going to Disney World. We didn't stop going on vacation. We didn't stop going to the clubs. We didn't stop going nowhere. But we stopped going to church. And so that's just mighty convenient. And so, but we ain't going to stop. The church ain't going to stop. We ain't going to let, your attitude towards church stop us from preaching and teaching to people that need salvation. Because that's our goal.
I like it. All right. Last thing, tell us about this book.
Back in 2011, while I was on furlough from working, I was from 2010 to 2012, I was on furlough, right? And around 2011, God had put in my spirit to write a book to the youth called God Can Use You Too. And so, I just wanted, to give my experience on growing up in church and helping our youth to realize that they are valuable to God. They are valuable to the church. God can use them as well. See, when I was growing up, I was always taught, not verbally, but in so many words, in so many ways, that you had to be older for God to use you, right? When it came down to doing things in church, that was reserved for the older people. And then, these things over here was reserved for the younger people. I remember having a disagreement with our Sunday school superintendent once I accepted my calling. There were some young adults that wanted to have a Sunday school class, and I was told no. Okay, didn't want to really get into all of those things with them, and I was just merely the one to ask, but. I sort of got offended because, of what the reasoning was. And
how old were you then?
25,
okay.
26, somewhere around there. And, they wanted to have Sunday school. Now listen to what I'm saying. Some young adults wanted to come to church and have Sunday school. They wanted to talk about the Bible together.
And somebody had
to
say no.
Yeah, they said no. And so we were left to be in the class with the adults, the older people, and sit in there and get that interaction with them, which was good. Now I'm not saying anything against that, but when you want to do something for yourself and with other people, I want to be valuable too. I want my, yes, I'm young, but I'm here, right? And this is my training ground. This is where I'm growing up here. And so I just wanted the youth to, to understand that, listen, you're valuable. You're valuable. It doesn't matter what anybody says. Paul told Timothy, don't let anybody poo-poo on your youth, man.
That's right.
I'm just paraphrasing, right? Don't let anybody, put you down because you're young. You have something to say. You have something to give our young people, even today, even with all the distractions that we have going on. Even with other groups of anti-church people saying and seemingly being the loudest, even though that's in their ears, they still have to realize that God needs them to spread his word to other youth. God doesn't need us per se, because it's going to get done. If it's in his will, it's going to get done. But I started off by saying that we are conduits. There's those things from God flows through us to other people, right? And so even young people, they have a voice. They have something to say. They have something to give to the kingdom of God. And then we have to give them a platform to do that. And express themselves. So I just wanted to know. God can use you too. God can use you too.
Okay.
And prayerfully, I'll be writing more books. When God put that in my spirit. I know it's been a while now, but I haven't given up on that. I'm not stopping writing.
Excellent.
Something else in me that needs to come out.
I think that's awesome. I am so excited about the future of Synagogue.
Yes, thank you.
All right. So what I've heard today, a leader that has been shaped by prayer, sharpened by education, and driven by a vision that stretches far beyond just the walls of the church. And in a world that's changing fast, pastors like Reverend Xavier Hailey are helping us to slow down and listen to God again. Detroit deserves that. The church demands it. In our next episode, we'll sit down with another voice, another pastor, with their own story to tell. Until then, stay listening, stay questioning, and above all, stay present.